right, Phil, if you'll tell us a little bit about some of your pieces in this exhibit. Go ahead.
All right, so a lot of the time I almost exclusively salvage wood or find wood. So this piece here is a piece of redwood burl that I found on the beach. I milled it out and it's all doweled and put together, and I call it an altar. So this is local redwood off of the beach. Over here we have what I call a Tonka mirror. I did some work for Buddhists for a while, and so that I evolved this sort of shape out of that process. So this is walnut that I salvaged from some trees that were going to be wasted into firewood, and there you have it. It's all natural finishes on it. I'm allergic to chemicals, so this is natural oil and resin finish on all these pieces. We have a table that is not for sale. I've always admired the arts and crafts movement in California, and so this is my version of a Gustav Stickley book table. So it's all mortise and tenon joinery with pegs, and it's hard to remember because this is almost 25 years old now. Native black oak, and there are about 74 mortise and tenon joints in this table. So my wife likes to call it my therapy table. Here we have a pine trestle table, and it's all mortise and tenon joinery. All these joints here are mortised all the way through these pieces for a very strong joint and pegged. And this is a tree that was a hazard tree next to my house, and it started dropping huge branches, so I milled it up to make use of it. This mirror here is a classic piece. It's all figured walnut that I salvaged, and it's more or less based on ideas that I came off of green and green work from the arts and crafts movement. And it's all mortise and tenon. There's a big tenon through here, and these pegs go through that tenon, so it's a lifetime piece.
Great.
This diamond-shaped mirror is Port Orford cedar up in Oregon. They get to a certain age in towns and then they die from a disease. So I was fortunate enough to be able to cut this irregular natural edge shape out of that tree and create this mirror here.
Great.
This mirror is Oregon ash, once again in the Tonka style, and this came out of the Little Applegate Valley, a tree that had died, and I milled that up. And for the last piece here, this is a piece of redwood root burl, and a friend of mine had found it, and I milled it up for him, and he gave me a few pieces. So it's all joined in a traditional way with mortised pegs into the shelf and into the support here, which is alder.
Wonderful, Phil. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Emma, if you'll lead us through a few of your pieces in this exhibit, that'd be great.
Okay, hi. Yes, I have functional pottery as well as my line of art apparel. And so I've been having big problems this season with my pottery. I had my kiln break, and so it's been a big process to get new stuff to bring here for the show. Some of these pieces I just unloaded this morning. I like playing with different decoration techniques. This is called sgraffito, different ways to carve designs into pieces. And I have fun kind of having a line of similar ones I do. And this is one of my newest that each one of these probably takes me, I don't know, 40 minutes to actually do the design. So they're very labor intensive, but it's really fun. And most of my carvings are ocean inspired because we're here by the ocean and that's my big passion. Anyway, I have stuff out on different pedestals, especially with the decline of our bull kelp. I'm very inspired by showing kelp in my artwork. It's also something that I grew up squishing with my toes, and I love the smell and I love looking at it out on the ocean. So I also have my line of art apparel, ocean inspired. I represent species that we have out here in our cold water ocean. This is my newest design in my line. I think my line's been going for about 6 or 7 years now, and I like to do a new image or design every couple of years, but this is the giant kelp or macrocystis kelp. Yeah.
How about showing different
Showing
styles that you have
pieces.
there?
Yeah, I have hoodies. I do unisex or men's tees. This is my California halibut. I like playing with placement, so sometimes I have stuff on the front and sometimes I like kind of doing offset stuff different places in the garment. China rockfish. This is a kind of newer piece for me as well. And I like to represent a lot of species that are food fish, and just try to foster stewardship for these species. This is my salmonids piece, and we have a coho, a chinook, and a steelhead. These are our most common salmon we have in our California creeks and rivers. Salmon live out in the ocean, but they all need a river to spawn and reproduce in. And so I like to show species that most people only know as a little thing on a plate to eat. Yeah. Anything else?
Okay, that's great. Thanks a lot, Emma.
Okay.